This is for you, AOC, a love song, because I love you so much. AOC, can't you see I want to party with that booty, big booty Latina. You are my señorita, my big booty Latina. Dance, dance, let me romance, let me take off all my pants, then I will get a 3-point stance. Doggy style, we go buck wild for my big booty Latina. You are my #1 señorita. I'ma drink you like margarita. You are #1 bartender. You know I am gonna send all my love to you. I will watch you make a #2. Big booty Latina. Your fiance is kinda gay. Didn't stop what I say. And a homie don't play. I love you, AOC. Let's have a party with you and me. Let's dance, then we romance.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and what's good for the goose is good for the big booty Latina. Apparently, you have a amazing lawsuit being announced against Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and I believe the comedian launching the lawsuit has every chance of winning, and it's amazing. Now, if you remember, it wasn't that long ago, maybe a couple of years ago, when a bunch of Democrat reply guys and activists actually successfully sued Donald Trump and forced him to unblock 41 of them from his Twitter account because he's a government official, he's an elected official. They shouldn't get to block you, by the way. Now, they could still mute you, I suppose, but even that might be questionable as well. I think you could probably go, push it further and say that they're not allowed to mute you either because these are elected officials. But what's great about this is it's following the exact same model that the left set up. If you go back to 2019, this is the appeal was upheld too. Trump cannot block critics from his Twitter account. Appeals court rules. The decision may have broader implications of how the First Amendment applies to officials' accounts in social media era. By the way, I'm going to leave a link in the pinned comment below. Tonight is Community Notes, 5 o'clock Central on the Community Notes channel. So I'd love to see you there. You can set the reminder or notification or whatever right on that channel. If you want to watch Sydney Watson and my show, I'd love to see you there. President Trump, this is back 29, has been violating the Constitution by blocking people from following his Twitter account because they criticized or mocked him. A federal appeals court ruled on Tuesday. The ruling could have broader implications for how the First Amendment applies in the social media era. Because Mr. Trump uses Twitter to conduct government business, he cannot exclude some Americans from reading his posts and engaging in conversations and replying to them because he does not like their views. A 3-judge panel on the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit in New York ruled unanimously, and I actually 100% agree with that. Bro, you're an elected official. You have to hear from your constituents. You don't get to block them. The ruling was one of the highest profile court decisions yet in a growing constellation of cases addressing what the First Amendment means in a time when political expression is increasingly takes place online. It's also at a time where Judge Barrington D. Parker wrote, when government conduct is subject to wide open, robust debate that generates a level of passion and intensity of the likes which we've rarely seen. The First Amendment prohibits an official who uses a social media account for government purposes from excluding people from an otherwise open online dialogue because they say things the official finds objectionable, Judge Parker wrote. Quote, this debate, as uncomfortable and unpleasant as it frequently may be, is nonetheless a good thing, the judge wrote. In resolving this appeal, we remind the litigants that the public that if the First Amendment means anything, it means the best response to disfavored speech on matters of public concern is more speech, not less. The Justice Department expressed disappointment in the ruling, but said officials had not yet decided whether to appeal the full appeals court. Now, look, I think this is great. First of all, this is a genius move by Alex Stein because he's going to get all sorts of pub for this. Look at this. Here's the article. troll, I don't think Alex Stein is a troll. It's Primetime 99, who heckled AOC on Capitol steps and called her his favorite big booty Latina, sues the lawmaker for blocking him on Twitter. He should. He should. Political provocateur and satirist Alex Stein is suing Representative Ocasio-Cortez for blocking him on Twitter after he heckled her in front of the U.S. Capitol. This is what the left wanted, right? This is what they wanted. They wanted to, I'm sure AOC 100% backed the victory, the lawsuit that the left, the reply guys wanted. And honestly, to be totally fair, I think so too. I think anybody that takes government money or collects taxes or taxpayer elected officials, should not be able to shut out their constituents, should not be able to block comments at all, period. Now, maybe you could get that right if you're like, international people are trolling you or commenting. Maybe you could get away with it there, but you don't get to block United States citizen. So they're calling the New York progressive his favorite big booty Latina as she walked into the complex. Stein also shouted about AOC's support for anti-pro-life stances. She wants us to end babies, but she's still beautifully recorded. You look very beautiful in that dress. She came over and said hi. I mean, she's obviously in on it. She went on this multi-day, multi-network cry fest about how she was just so triggered by the whole event, even though she was clearly, loving every minute of it. She went back outside to record an Instagram live or a TikTok or whatever about Alex Stein. The interaction with AOC went viral and has since helped Stein bolster his career as an online political satirist. But he was kind of a big deal before that. If you don't know who Alex Stein is, he's the guy that goes to city council meetings and uses satire to point out how ridiculous things are. Stein has harangued other lawmakers on Capitol Hill, including Senator Ted Cruz and Representative Eric Swalwell and I. Patch McCain or Dan Crenshaw. But according to Stein, none of them moved the needle closer than AOC. Mere months after the confrontation, Stein was in talks with conservative network Blaze Media to host his show. It has since launched under the name Primetime with Alex Stein, which is great because now this is free press for Alex. Consequently, AOC blocked him on Twitter, a decision that has now gotten her sued. Stein's suit on Wednesday cited federal appeals court decision that had ruled against then-President Donald Trump. The court ruled that former POTUS had violated the constitutional rights of several individuals by blocking them on Twitter. The appeals court said Trump had acted in his official capacity as president when he made those decisions. Days after the ruling, which came back in November 2019, AOC apologized and settled a case with a former Brooklyn assemblyman whom she had also blocked on the account of critical responses to her tweets. Look, my opinion on blocking people on Twitter has changed over the years. Simply because, right now I'm finding Twitter completely useless, but partly because of all the stupid petty fights I start there. My feed is just complete garbage. And the people that actually want to respond to me in good faith or even disagree with me in good faith, they get drawn out by people that are just bad faith. I've been following you for years, man. You've changed. It's just so weird. So it's okay, I don't really care if you're going to get in my comment section and try to take it over or ruin things. I don't mind blocking people anymore. But I'm not an elected official. So it's kind of, and you should use your block lightly. I only reserve it for bad faith. If you're a viewer and you're critical of something, cool. But if you're just going to come and be, spew vile rage and anger with no actual point, then I don't want to consume that. That's why I'm spending more time on my locals, spending more time on Gilded. But anyway, that's a different argument. She ultimately lifted the block on Highkind and admitted that and he has a First Amendment right to express his views and should not be blocked for them. So this is just an easy W. She's on record saying that it's a First Amendment issue. Stein is hoping for a similar outcome with his suit. He says he doesn't have any hard feelings for AOC adding that he is not looking for a monetary settlement out of the case, which was filed in U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C. I really would like to have her unblock me, he said, saying this would allow him to communicate with her. If AOC decides to battle the case in court, she would be reopening the exact same set of issues and arguments that were previously litigated in terms of whether political figures have the right to prevent certain people or groups from following them online. Back in 2021, the Supreme Court erased the second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruling that Trump had violated the First Amendment rights. The High Court ordered that the case be dismissed as moot because Trump was by then no longer serving as the president. But, ultimately, the point still stands, and she will lose in court, and certainly Alex would find plenty of donors to his legal case. The Supreme Court's order meant that the Second Circuit's ruling could no longer be used as a precedent for similar cases in which elected officials had blocked Twitter followers. Stein's case will likely also be handled differently because it stems from statements he made to AOC in person, not online, but we don't know that for sure. Back in July, AOC tweeted out the video of Stein confronting her on the Capitol steps, calling it a deeply disgusting incident. She added that Stein was clearly in want of extremist fame, but then she willingly gave it to him because that's how the game is played. That's how all this works. People pretend to be outraged, and then they get a bunch of support, and they galvanize their base. That's exactly what this is. The suit that Stein blocked AOC in retaliation, and the suit said that Stein blocked AOC in retaliation to Mr. Stein's exercise of his First Amendment rights because clearly earlier in the day, Mr. Stein, or it was in the context of political commentary, and he complimented Ms. Cortez. Mr. Stein has a constitutional right to access Ms. Cortez's Twitter account as part of vigorous public comment and criticism, reads the suit. Ms. Cortez's practice of blocking Twitter users she disagrees with is unconstitutional, and this suit seeks to redress that wrong. Stein's attorney, Jonathan Gross, in an interview said the provocateur's references to AOC's body were satire, and that the reference was for her support for pro-choice is obviously political. My client is a political satirist, he said. Political speech, the Supreme Court has said, is the highest level of protected speech. Regardless of what Stein said, he argued that AOC does not possess the legal right to block him on Twitter. Stein also defended his comment, saying he didn't really want to disrespect her. It was the most gracious way I could say it, he added, claiming that he was really complimenting her. Stein also said he was inspired to sue AOC after news of the House Ethics Committee investigation into her office had now extended into her appearance at the Met Gala. Quote, she's been accused of accepting off-limit gifts in the form of designer tax, the rich gown, as well as her handbags, shoes, and jewelry for the event. Other items, such as transportation, hotel fares, hair, and makeup, as well as the outfit, also had her boyfriend as a benefactor. I think ethically, AOC is kind of playing fast and loose, said Stein, admitting, too, that he wants to get her attention. Well, Alex, I wish you all of the best on your lawsuit. You should win, absolutely, and this should be a precedent, I think. If you're an elected official, you got to hear from the people that elected you. That's the name of the game. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you have a like on it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.